Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 43rd episode of ICC BiZ Live, our knowledge show with C-suite people. Today, we have a very senior person with us, Mr. Biren Parekh, a director, Crisil Intelligence, and we would hear a lot about fintech from him. So, sir, I hand over the mic to you and request you to give a brief introduction of yourself and your profile and the current job, your job role.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rajashri, and good evening, all. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm basically a director with the Crisil, and we have a special niche division called Intelligence, whereby we work on the data and analytics related projects. We have data lakehouse project, we have risk solution platform, etc. From my academic background, I have done my B computer science, and I have been all the while into banking and software product related companies. I have experience in retail banking, corporate banking, and now the data related projects. So that is brief about me. Apart from being working with the Crisil, I am also very staunch volunteer with the PMI, and have been part of several initiatives or volunteering projects with the PMI. Yeah, that is about me.
Thank you, sir. Now, you are part of the Crisil. Uh, Crisil primary we know as is a credit rating agency. Now, and fintech we know application of technology in finance. Now, question: is there any relationship between credit rating and fintech, or is technology being used in credit rating nowadays?
Okay, my answer will be yes and no both. Okay, so credit rating is more for the corporates. Okay, so credit rating is given to corporate companies as well as the instruments they are being raised. So Crisil is actively part of that, or one of the leading players in that. Whereas fintech is more, I'll say, B2C kind of a business, whereby we or any fintech business will be serving directly to some of the customers. Obviously, some fintech might be also serving the corporates. So that is the basic thing. Now, credit rating, as I said, is more from the corporate side, but fintech relies more on the CIBIL score. Okay, so CIBIL score, as we know, is the individual's score, and that is where the difference is. And fintech actually is very helpful in terms of it uses the CIBIL score to evaluate the customer's repayment capability. So that is one part of it. But normally nowadays, a lot of fintechs are there who are actually using the alternative scoring mechanism to figure it out now how customer is comfortable or how customer is dependable to repay the loan, okay, or repay the amount. So that is, so fintech has now innovated a lot of such things, like now they will look at your income tax returns, they will look at your social media behavior, they will if available they will look at your any kind of a repayment scores which is available. So fintech is a kind of a innovative platform or innovative technology company who actually uses the all kind of a mechanism to do the kind of a financial transactions with the customers. So that is a kind of a difference between, I'll say, credit rating and the fintech. Over to you, Mr. Rajesh.
Thank you, sir. My next question on will be on credit rating. Now, this is of a very practical example we had from our members who were we were told by a bank that if you use more of your debit cards and less of your credit cards, your CIBIL score will go down. I mean, what is this? If I can manage my cash flow and I have no outstanding, my CIBIL score will go down. I mean, and if I start using credit cards and of course, assuming I pay on time, my CIBIL score will go up. What is the link between credit and debit cards and CIBIL score?
Very good question. So see, CB score basically gets calculated based on your repayment capability. Okay. more you repay your debt, okay, then your civil score will go up. So basically, I mean, they say that now if you don't have any history of borrowing it, then it's quite possible that you will not get a maybe a loan. Okay, so that's why they say that now you borrow some money, you repay it, so the credit score will get calculated, and you will have some credit score to demonstrate or history to demonstrate, and that will give you a advantage in terms of getting a loan. So that is where credit, if the credit card is being used, then obviously there is a, obviously you will have to repay the credit, I mean outstanding amount, and that is how your credit score will keep going up. But if you don't use credit card, that is you are just doing the direct banking, that is using your debit card, then obviously it will not have any kind of a I'll say credit history getting built up, and hence your credit score will not go up, but it will keep going down because you're not borrowing the money at all. So that is a difference. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. My next question is, before we move on to artificial intelligence, or rather the linkage between fintech and artificial intelligence, I would request you to elaborate fintech a bit more with practical examples. Being a core industry person, you, you, you please explain with practical examples, applications, sorry, that will help educate our viewers more.
Sure. So basically, see, what is a fintech? Fintech is basically financial organization or financial institute using technology to the maximum. Okay, so that is in nutshell one word. Okay, fintech. So fin and tech. That is how it has been formed. Banks are there traditionally. They are there, and they are doing kind of all kind of financial transactions or providing financial services to the customer. But bank being more of a, I'll say, legacy institute, they are a little bit slow in some cases, whereas fintech is normally a new age startup, I can say that nowadays. I mean, startup are also valued in billions, but yeah, new age company or new age financial company who actually allows you to conduct the different kind of a financial services to the customer. So that is difference between fintech and the banks. Now fintechs are very agile. Okay, so they are able to do the innovation in a very agile manner, in a very nimble manner, and they are able to offer services at a different level. So how they do it? So there are different ways. So as I mentioned earlier, so bank normally, I mean, they will, if they want to give you a loan, then they will rely purely on your CIBIL score. Okay, so they'll say, okay, what is your CIBIL score? Accordingly, I'll judge your payment capability. Whereas fintech does not just solely rely on CIBIL score. They will also evaluate different methods. Okay, so different methods, when I say, I mean, they might go through your employment history. They might go through your even social media behavior. They might also, if you have any small business, they might also go through your GST filing or the invoices which you are raising it or paying it. So they will go through, and even they might also go through your I'll say driving behavior. So there are different kind of methods by which this fintechs might be evaluating your eligibility, your behavior, your psychology about paying back to the fintech. So that is the main thing about fintech. Now banks are obviously there, they have to comply with a lot of RBI's or central banks regulatory notes and regulatory laws. So they have to judge everything very thoroughly to see that they don't breach any of this regulatory compliance and regulatory laws. Okay, whereas fintechs are not that much bound to adhere to a RBI thing, because they come under a different segment. They come under a fintech segment. So at times fintechs are not having themselves banking license. Okay, they are just providing an interface to the customer. They might be using the banking on the back end from one of the existing banks, or maybe a payment bank, small finance bank, like that. Okay, so basically that is again another difference. Now, coming to your other question, that now how banks or how fintechs are using AI. So because fintechs are new age technology company, and that is where they are able to effectively use the AI or the technology to the maximum. So I'll give you a practical example, or I'll first of all I'll tell you that okay, so fintech. I mean, everybody might be using fintech. I mean, people say, oh, I don't know which is fintech or what I'm using it. But if you are using a GPay or if you're using a Paytm, that is a fintech. Okay, so let me tell you that now fintech is like this kind of a thing which is being used on your day-to-day basis. And they say that 70 to 80% of people or citizens are using one or other fintech application. So I've just given you one example, GP or Paytm, and I'm sure many of us or most of us are using on a daily basis. Okay, so that is one example. Now coming to how they are using the technology or AI. So from that perspective, I'll give you a maybe very practical example that lot of fintechs are there. Okay, so if you just upload some of your basic details, okay, they will be able to allow you to start transacting with them financially or non-financially immediately in no matter of time. Okay, so one of the example I'll tell you, say for Zerodha, right? So earlier, I mean, if we want to open a trading or securities account, then we have to go to the bank, we have to go and fill up the form, and we have to submit the documents, and then you have to wait till they come back to us after 1 day, 2 day, or maybe a week. Okay, and thereby, and when they will say, okay, now your account is open, or there is still something more to be done. Whereas the company like Zerodha or Grow, what they do is that they just tell you that okay, this is a mobile app. You open the mobile app, you give your certain details, so whereby they will ask you for your PAN card or they will ask you for your Aadhaar card, and they will just capture some of the details. They will even capture your picture. They will also digitally capture your signature, and in no matter of time, within 5 to 10 minutes, if you have all those scanned documents available in your mobile phone, you can open the account. You can start transacting it. Okay, so see, that is a difference that now company or like Zerodha or the Grow or the New Age, any of this such banks or any such fintechs, they are able to provide you service at your convenience, quickly, in agile manner, and they are able to match to the services of the banks. Okay, so that is the difference that now how this new age fintechs are serving the customer, and let me tell you, customers are loving it. Okay, they are using this kind of a mobile app and which is able to give you a quickly all kind of services to them. So this is more of the security side. Same way there is also on the lending side. So there are several apps, and now even though I think Bharat UPI has also started this digital lending, right? So based on your services, based on your experience or record, they will scan through it and they will give you a kind of a certain limit to borrow the money, right? So that is also which is done within, I'll say, minutes. So that is a kind of a difference between a fintech and the banks. Banks has to adhere to lot many regulations, rules, compliance, and whereas fintechs are very limited by those kind of regulations, but still they're able to provide much superior services to the customer. Yeah, so that is a basic difference between banks and fintechs. Yeah, over to you, Dr. Raju.
The next logical question which follows from your the description of fintechs, what are the reasons behind the growing credit deposit ratio in the economy? Is it because of fintechs are more agile in credit disbursement, and also because of the funds are flowing more into stock markets and not into bank deposits?
Sorry, I mean, I didn't get your question exactly.
My
So
question is, what is the reason for the increasing credit deposit ratio? I mean, last 10 years we never had such a high credit deposit ratio in banks or in the economy as a whole. High credit deposit ratio.
so
One reason we think is because more funds are flowing into the stock market, but from learning from you, I think another reason is more where fintechs are more agile in credit disbursement. So, what is your opinion?
so basically you're saying there's an increase in the borrowing, right? That is what you're saying, credit borrowing.
Yes. Why is borrowing so high? Is it because of fintechs? Uh,
Yes. Okay. Okay,
uh,
got it. Got your question. Yeah. So I think there are multiple reasons for it, and it will be difficult to just attribute to one thing. But yes, as you rightly said, one of the reason is that there are lot many fintechs who are able to give you this borrowing facility at a very quick, in a very quick and agile manner. Okay, so that makes it easier. See, a lot of people are want a money, but they are not eligible because of whatever XYZ reason, because they don't have credit history, they don't have maybe bank account. But since last 10 years, as you know, that law, I mean, because of our prime minister's vision, I mean, the financial inclusion has been stressed too much, right? I mean, and basically Jandan account is being opened, and because of that, a lot of now banking history is getting created. So now once you have the bank account, then there is a relationship which starts with the bank, and that's where bank will start maybe giving a lending a money to individuals, because now you have a bank account with them, and they can have access to some amount of funds. So obviously, I mean, all kind of a borrowings will start with a low amount only, but as and when the credit history or repayment history gets built up, more and more funds get disbursed. So that is one reason that financial inclusion has been very heavily pushed by government, and that has resulted into more borrowing. Second, as you rightly said, yes, fintechs are there. Fintechs have made very easy to borrow the money and to also repay it, and that is the second reason that now a lot of borrowing is beginning happening. And second thing. Third is that, see, earlier, I mean, if you used to borrow and if you don't repay, okay, then it was very difficult to catch the fraudster or the person, right? But now with a very strong digital public infrastructure, it is very difficult to evade any kind of a defaulting or so, because you everything is now linked. Okay, more and more things are getting linked, whether it is Aadhaar card, PAN card with your bank account or securities account, or any kind of a financial transaction is linked. So it is very easy to track the person, to identify the defaulter, and maybe whatever now initiate the recovery. So because of that, people are also conscious, they are also paying on time, I'll say that to some extent. And because of that, again, credit history gets built up, and obviously then more and more borrowing keeps happening, right? So that is the third reason which is there. And obviously fourth reason is, obviously, economy is booming. We know, like, we have become top 3, top 4 economy in the world, and hence obviously a lot more of this business is coming and a lot more money is flowing into the market, not only from the stock market perspective but overall from the business perspective. And hence that is where the borrowing keeps happening. A lot of capex is being done by the companies, corporates, or maybe small companies. So that is again another reason I'll say that. So there are multiple reasons which are contributing to the overall cash flow growth, and maybe I'll say borrowing economy. Yeah.
The next question is on artificial intelligence. How is artificial intelligence disrupting the financial services, and in which segments? Banking, lending, crediting, insurance, payments. Where is artificial intelligence disrupting? How? Where and how is artificial intelligence disrupting BFSI?
Very good question, and I'll say that there are several areas where now AI is contributing to the financial services ecosystem. Okay, so I'll say to start with, I'll say that, for example, banking. Okay, so how banking is being disrupted. So now with banking, with AI in place, banks are able to do multiple things very quickly. Okay, so to start with, um, say fraud payment. Okay, any kind of a fraud payment which is happening, banks are able to quickly detect because of the AI, because AI has learned the pattern of the customer or of the region of the area, and they are able to quickly detect the fraud. Okay, so for example, I'm normally transferring money. For example, I'm transferring money only to whatever set of 5 people or 5, 10 people every month or so. Okay, and suddenly if I transfer a huge amount, say 30 lakh, 50 lakh, 1 crore to some unknown entity, then this is kind of a alert which will trigger now AI to send a notification to bank as well as to some of the officers. Okay, so that makes it very immediate to detect the kind of a fraud which is happening, or the unusual pattern which is happening, because AI would have learned your regular patterns, and hence it would have identified this kind of a thing. Okay, and that might be kind of a digital arrest, right? So nowadays a lot of those kind of a fraud is happening, and that's where if this kind of transaction happens, then bank will be alerted and corrective action can be taken, right? So that is the first case. Yeah. Second is that with the help of AI, banks are doing a lot of analysis and analytics to figure out that now what kind of a what kind of a services now should be targeted now to the customer. So that helps them to maybe increase the cross selling, and that will give them an edge in terms of now offering more services to the customer. So for example, if you are transferring money and if you written something in description that money is being transferred or loaned, so in that case bank will maybe reach out to the one of the person and who is receiving the money to see to offer the services, saying that okay, if you need a loan then we are here, right? So that is second thing. Okay, so that is banking. I'll say that. Now I'll go to payments. Now same way in the payments section also, in payments segment also, any kind of unusual thing will trigger some kind of a notification alerts, and that can help to detect if there is any fraud which is happening, or if there is something which can be offered, say on the recurring basis, then that bank can offer those kind of services. Similarly, in the insurance, so in insurance also, or insurtech as they call it, there also, I mean, now the claims are being, I'll say, verified using the artificial intelligence. So when I say claims are being verified using AI, so what it does is that now, I mean, there will be an app on which customer will upload the picture of the claims. Say, for example, for the car insurance, the accident has happened, and the customer will upload the pics of the car accident. Then AI will help to detect whether that is a genuine kind of a accident which has happened, or it is a framed, or it is not, right? So basically AI will help you to detect this kind of a things, and that will help insurance company to either quickly reject or accept the claim. Okay, so that is a third kind of a thing. Same way, in the wealth tech, okay, in the wealth management systems nowadays, there are a kind of a robo advisor or AI advisors are there. So what they do is that they understand the person's profile, okay, the kind of a risk appetite, and accordingly they can suggest that okay, the person should invest in this kind of asset class, and how much they should invest. So for example, if you have a high risk appetite, then it might say okay, you directly invest into equities, okay, and maybe a mid cap kind of equities, because there the risk will be higher. But if you're low risk appetite, then it might say that okay, you invest into the mutual fund, your majority of your surplus or corpus, and you invest into a safer one which invest into the large caps. So that is a kind of a AI advisors who have come in place, who actually helps to take some of the decisions. In the same way, I mean, if there is a some kind of a event which happens, black swan event as we call it, then these AI advisors will automatically trigger a notification and will tell that okay, now you should exit this kind of a stocks or this kind of a portfolio, or maybe invest into this kind of a portfolio, right? So that is a kind of a AI assisted some of the tasks which will happen, which will help not consumers to take decisions. So basically AI is there everywhere. It is helping each and every I'll say segment of the financial ecosystem, banking ecosystem, and it helps you to I'll say take a advantage of the technology, right? And that really helps. Yes, over to you.
Thank you, sir, such a wonderful explanation. Now, on some question related to AI. Uh, uh, AI, we were told that would affect employment, and a lot of IT people got laid off. But recent news came as a very big surprise to us that some IT company, this is from Silicon Valley, IT companies are quietly rehiring the people they had sacked due to AI, because AI cannot do 100%. The human intelligence IQ part that is missing, what we did, thought they would fill with AI and reduce costs. So quietly they are rehiring people, and so to make their system the best. So, what is your opinion on this?
Yes, that's very good point, and I think there is a burning, I'll say, trending topic nowadays into the social media. So, see, people thought that now with AI, I'll be able to now do several things at a click of a button. Okay, and I'll say to some extent that is true, that I can develop a website at a click of a button in few minutes, or maybe I can develop an application in no time. Okay, but it only does to a certain extent. Okay, if there is any issue in that, if there is any error in that, then not necessary that all the time AI will be able to solve it or help you on that. And for that, you need a human in the loop. Okay, so they call it human in the loop. So there has to be always two eyes to take a look at what machine is doing or what AI is doing. And that is why a lot of companies are now rehiring the people whom they had sacked earlier, and that is the reason. Other thing is that now, for using AI, obviously it is not free, right? So you have to take services of some of the popular AI tools like Claude and ChatGPT, or maybe Integravity and Cursor, right? So when you use those services, there is a kind of a token which you have to use. So that is a currency which is being used for using the services. Okay, it is called token. So how many words you write to get the answer, or maybe how many words it generates as output, that can be considered kind of a token in a very layman manner. Now there is a cost to it. Okay, right now, initially they are offering it free, or maybe they are offering a limited usage free, just to get everyone acquainted. Now once now they are acquainted, now they have started charging it, because it costs them a huge data center to generate the outputs in the automated manner. So now they have started charging it. Now the charges are so has become so high that it is much easier to hire a person than maybe taking the AI services, right? And if you are not able to use the AI services very effectively, then it's quite possible that you might go bankrupt also, right? So recently, if you know, recently one of the there were multiple such news in the media, whereby one company, no, they forgot to stop some services, and the $400,000 bill came up. Okay, so that was a huge money which they spent, and it was like, no, they were about to get bankrupt kind of a thing, right? Same way, there are other companies who were actually using AI tools, and then they found that they are making much more loss than actually they are getting benefit from the AI. So these are some of the few examples whereby now AI is being used, but it becomes so costly, so expensive, that now it is better to have a human there in place of AI, and then only it is effective and efficient. Other thing is that AI at times does not give the correct answer. You might have heard of hallucinations. So that means that now AI might give some amount of answers which might not be true. Okay. So it just frames the answer. So because of that, unless and until someone verifies it, you should not trust the AI. And that is the main point, that now people are using the AI. And in fact, there was a one big four consulting company which prepared the report using AI, and they gave it to Australian government. And Australian government noticed that now that report is like a fake report, because some of the things which was mentioned in that report were actually was not existing only. Okay, so that is a kind of a thing which happens when you are using AI without having a human in the loop to check it whether it is meaningful, useful or not, right? So that is a couple of things which are specific to AI. Other thing also which I just like to mention is that now is that when you are using AI, I mean, you can become efficient. Okay, you should not be AI control. You should be AI augmented. Okay, so you use AI to deliver service quickly, but you should not just outsource everything to AI. Otherwise, you might end up in a soup, and you might really have to close your business at times, maybe. So that is the thing about AI. Over to you.
In the context of AI, we have also heard of algorithmic biases in US, where people of uh, I mean, particular skin complexion were negatively looked at, and even in India, also some AI biases had crept in some AI model, and so uh, my question is, will AI be able to balance innovation with respect to data privacy, algorithmic bias, and cybersecurity?
Good question. Let me just first of all answer your first part about bias. Okay, so AI normally works on the data. Okay, so AI has to be trained. It has to be trained based on some of the existing data. It is like somewhere like, I mean, say for example, if you're a kid, you have to if cat picture is there, you have to say that okay, label it as a cat, okay, and then you can say, then AI will learn that okay, this type of an image is called cat, right? Similarly, if there's a dog, then you label that image as a dog. All right. Now, if you interchange this image, okay, you label dog as a cat and you say cat as a dog, then AI will not understand. AI will think that okay, whatever you label, that is a correct one, and it will get trained himself or herself in that line. Okay, so that is where the bias gets. That is one thing about bias. That now, if you don't feed him the correct data, then there will be a bias developed within the AI, and it will might give a wrong answer. Or the way we call it, hallucination will happen. Second thing is that now, depending on the kind of a data which you give it to AI, it will get trained. So if you're just training data, say for example, only one kind of a thing and not on the variety of things, then also it is quite possible that now AI will have a bias. Okay. So for example, when I say bias, if you just always maybe say that okay, all the speaker can be males only, okay, then it is like a bias which will get developed, and it will not understand that now female also can be a speaker, right? So that is a kind of a bias which gets developed, and unless and until you have not fed the AI or you have not trained the data, trained the AI with a sufficient data, variety of data, AI will develop a wrong bias and it will give the wrong answer. Okay, so that is first part of it. Sorry, what was your second question in that? Can you just repeat that?
Can AI balance bias, innovation, and cybersecurity all together? Because it has been told AI can be used for protection against cyber attacks, as well as AI can be used as a tool for cyber attacks.
Yeah, exactly, correct. No, no, you're right, I think. Yeah, so as I said, now if you train the AI with a sufficient amount of data, okay, then it might get trained as a proper it might get properly, and it will develop the proper judgment and proper give a proper answer. It will not hallucinate. Okay, so that is one part of it, that AI has to be trained properly with the right data and in the right amount so that it gives a correct answer. Now, second thing is that about cybersecurity. So nowadays we might have heard or read in the media that now Claude has developed a very good cybersecurity tool now, which detects the problems in the any applications or in the website. So if it has been trained with a lot of good amount of data and would have been trained with like now what can be the kind of vulnerabilities which will be there, then obviously it will give a good results, or it will give you the correct, it will identify the correct vulnerabilities. So unless and until it has not been very creatively, innovatively trained, okay, the AI tool, then it will give a problem. But if it's trained properly, then it will give a very innovative, very creative kind of outputs, and that will really surprise us as a user of the AI, right? Other thing is that AI no, at times has to be. I mean, we have to put the guardrails on the AI usage also, or in the AI itself also. So we cannot just leave everything to AI, and we can just say that okay, you know what, you create everything, and it has no limit on it. But we have to put a guardrails, AI guardrails as they call it, whereby you have to see that now beyond certain limit, they should not be allowed to go ahead. Okay, so that is a kind of a guardrails which is required, which can be incorporated into the AI tool itself, as well as it can be incorporated by the human in the loop also. Okay, so there are two, three ways by which this can be done to control that now innovation is there, but at the same time there is no damage which is being done to the actual users of the AI. Otherwise, it might really create havoc. And we have seen some of these AI robots in some movies whereby they start annihilating or maybe killing the people, right? And they wanted to take over the world. So same way AI has to be very controlled in very smart manner, and there has to be always a kill switch which should be there, so that now you can switch off the AI in case it is behaving notoriously, right? So yeah, over to you.
In context to AI, and you mentioned cloud, the US government has put some restrictions on cloud. In any comments on this, or you would like to avoid?
Yeah, so basically, I'm not the authorized person to make any comments, but yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, they have trained AI models very well, Anthropic, and because of that, the different models of cloud, that is Fable and Opus have been able to identify, Mythos and Fable has been able to identify a lot of vulnerabilities which were undetected since, I'll say, years. I mean, since decades. And that is where US government felt that no, they should not be go into a wrong hands, and that is why they restricted the usage, and they wanted it to be validated with the government first before releasing it to the public or to the all the countries or the world. So yeah, I mean, it is good that they are putting kind of a guardrails, but at least enterprise should have access so that they are able to utilize those services and maybe detect the vulnerabilities, which is impossible using the human thing. Yeah. Over to you.
What is the picture on indigenous AI models? I mean, we use more of foreign models and more of foreign data. Indigenous AI models and indigenous data is the need of the hour. I personally believe so. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, correct. So data sovereignty is one of the, I think, most, I'll say, debated thing, critical thing, and there is need for local model or domestic model to be developed. And I understand this recently only is the Sarvam AI model has been developed, which is more, which will be more hosted in the India, and it will be trained locally only. So that is need of our, and that is already being addressed by some of the entrepreneurs, and hoping to see that it will be expanded to a lot more services, and lot more entrepreneurs will come up with this kind of a domestic model. Yeah. How do you?
In fintech, one of India's biggest success was the unified payments interface. Any further improvisation possible, or
Sorry, I lost you. I didn't get your question exactly.
uh, one of India's biggest fintech success is the UPI, the Unified Payments
Yeah,
Interface.
yeah, yeah,
What
right.
are the next growth opportunities for digital payments payments models or systems, fintech systems?
So what are growth opportunities?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think UPI has been a fantastic innovation and initiative by the Indian government, and that has really opened, I'll say, full world of financial transactions, financial ecosystem, and lot many use cases are being discovered on a regular basis, and one of them is also UPI lending, which has been started recently last year. So it is very innovative, very creative, and now it is also being expanded to multiple countries, as you are aware, right? So many countries are accepting that as a um, payment for the local system, as well as for integration with the Indian financial system. So not only that, but some other countries are also taking an inspiration from this, and they want to implement their local domestic this kind of a UPI system to meet the customers' need. Now, other thing, see, one more advantage or one more side for, I will say, of UPI is that now people are spending more easily, more conveniently. Because see, earlier it was like, no, unfortunately, I don't have money in my pocket or my wallet. I'll not spend it, right? Because if I will go out, I'll have a limited amount of money in my wallet, depending on how much I want to spend or what I have going to buy, right? So, but now with UPI, everyone has a mobile in their hand. So with UPI, a lot of spending has become unnecessary spending, or I say has started, because at any point of time, whatever you like, you can just go click the mobile and you can make a payment. So that has really created a good ecosystem that has also helped Indians economy to grow and maybe become top three, top four economy in the world, right? So that is really good actually, going to help a lot go down the line.
Next question again, on fintech. Has fintech helped in financial inclusion, in growth of financial inclusion?
Yes, lot. It has helped a lot in financial inclusion, because nowadays everyone is having the mobile phone, and with the Jan Dhan scheme of the government, now everybody is having the account, and because everybody is having the account and everyone having the mobile, the lot of transactions are happening through UPI in very easy manner. So that is really helpful. So both UPI and mobile both has helped a lot. Not only the Indian government in terms of thing, but all the fintech also, because a lot of now validations verification happens through mobile or through UPI, and that really has now boosted overall, I'll say, financial transactions. And that can be also seen in the GST, because if you see month over month the GST transactions are only going up, or GST numbers are only going up. Why? Because more and more people are now spending money, because the spending money is easy with UPI, and that has really helped, because now a lot more towns and villages which are there in the remote areas, they are also able to use the UPI, and that's how the spending is happening, and a lot more financial inclusion is coming to the picture. Yeah, over to you.
Now we are nearing the end of our show. Now I'll open the floor for the public to ask questions. But I also have a couple of questions more for you. Yeah, people, our viewers are welcome to post questions.
Okay, sure.
Now, before questions come, one question on the regulatory framework. Is the
Sure.
current regulatory framework ready for AI-based lending, digital assets, embedded finance, and new fintech models?
You were saying AI regulatory framework.
Re- 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 uh, Regulatory framework
Yeah.
for
Okay.
finance,
Okay. Okay.
for
Over.
BFSI.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Got it, got it. Yeah, so I see. I'll say that RBI is obviously the regulatory framework for the financial ecosystem, right? And let me tell you that RBI is one of the, I'll say, the one of the best central bank which is there in the world. Okay, multiple reasons, because they are so proactive, they are so stringent, they are continuously monitoring the different kind of transactions and all those things. That definitely, it is very hard to have a kind of a RBI kind of a institute anywhere else. Okay, so first of all, our regulatory framework is very strong, very robust, and very stringent. So that is first thing. Now, because of the same thing, because that RBI framework is already there, the base foundation is already there. Because of that, having this AI based framework for the or regulatory framework for the AI transaction, right now it is not as matured, but very soon I feel that it will be in place. Okay, so right now I think still the regulatory framework is AI regulatory framework is being developed, and it is there in some to some extent, but very soon will be, I'll say that we will be one of the best AI regulatory framework, because the RBI which is there, which is very active and very knowledgeable, they'll put those things in place. So I'm not, I don't have any doubt that those AI regulatory framework will be in place very soon. But yeah, I mean, it is there. Second is about data protection, data privacy. I think you also had mentioned earlier. So on from the data protection and data privacy perspective, also we are making a huge leaps and bounds. Okay, and there's a bill or the act which has been passed, and March 27 is by when we want to have one kind of a data privacy analysis to be ready and done. So I think once that is done, then we'll have a much better things in place, whereby you will not be worried about your data getting leaked, or maybe is being used misused by someone, all those things. So basically, again, that framework is also coming in place very soon, and all the banks will have to incorporate that to a large extent. So that also we are covered from that perspective. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions?
I, not it pushed. I have a couple of questions more. Uh, what collaboration you recommend between banks and fintech companies and and regulators for more innovation in fintech?
Okay. No, that's very good question, and I'll say that. See, earlier banks were seeing fintech as a competitors, okay, but recently of late they have started understanding that now fintechs can be their collaborators and not just only competitors, and that's where a lot of fintechs and banks are doing collaboration and trying to serve the customer using some of the innovative ideas. So that is already being done. Same way, RBI or the, I say the central bank is also facilitating, maybe while laws are being made stringent, but still they are ensuring that now fintechs are able to innovate a lot more things and maybe provide good service to the customer. So a lot of those things are coming in place, and soon we should see more strides in this area. Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, what measures what policy measures can help India emerge as a global fintech innovation hub?
Yeah, so again, that is much aspired thing. Okay, so to make India a fintech hub or fintech leader, there are a few things which are required. One is that now government should give a lot of I'll say credit or grant to the fintechs in their initial years, so that now they can do the innovation, they can start the operations, and they can start becoming kind of a profitable. Okay, so that is first thing. Second is that RBI should also facilitate, I'll say, accelerator or maybe provide a support in terms of mentoring, etc., to fintechs, so that now they are able to take up some of the challenges which are being faced by the banks or RBI, and do some innovation which will help everyone or customers to get a better service. So these are some of the things which RBI or maybe a government can do to help fintechs to innovate and may become a leader into the industry, in the global industry.
You would like to make? We are at the end of our show.
No, so I think thank you, Dr. Rajarshi, and really it is a privilege. All views mentioned over here are my personal views. It is not actually reflecting my employer's views or anything related to that. Um, yeah, so I'll say that I mean, last 100 years innovation was actually crammed in 10 years in year 2010 or so. I'll say that, and now in last what are 10 20 years innovation will get crammed into maybe I'll say 5 years. Okay, so with the advancement of technology, with lot of support from the governments, with a lot of AI tools, technology which are there, a lot more innovation will keep happening down the line, and I'm sure everyone will benefit from this, and that will make life easier. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. We end the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.